Can change that. Is that true? You two, professors of creativity, claim that there's research that shows that we can change this old way of doing things.
I don't think that we claim that we can change people's necessarily, well, maybe we can, but necessarily totally eliminate the fear of failure. Although I wish we could. I mean, I wish we could have a conversation.
I don't think we want to eliminate the fear of failure completely.
Right. Yeah. No, we don't want to embrace failure. I can't wait to fail today.
That's right.
That's not a great attitude.
Right.
Yeah. But I don't mind it if it happens.
That's right. I don't mind it if it happens is what's really important. Yeah.
The attitude is we want to punish negligence, not failure.
Right.
We really, we want to get people doing the things that we think are related to what it is that is going to ultimately lead to creative outcomes.
And science really needs to have or wants to have kind of a conversation, in a sense, with society, or certainly its legislators.
Good luck.
That says, yeah, right. That says, there's a price to failure, and I understand that, but there's also a price to not failing, and that is missing the opportunity to really solve these great threats to humanity and our planet.
Yes! We'll be back with Star Talk Radio right after this. Hello, Bill Nye here. You're listening to the special edition of Star Talk, the Maker Edition, with me, Bill Nye, and our worldwide citizen, Chuck Nice. And he and I are going to take your queries in lightning fashion. We'll be back right after this.
Support for Star Talk comes from Google. They believe that passion for science and creative problem solving is key to address the challenges of today and tomorrow. Young scientists and makers can get started at makingscience.withgoogle.com. Bringing space and science down to earth. You're listening to Star Talk.
Welcome back to Star Talk Radio. I'm your host, Bill Nye, here with citizen of the wide world, Chuck Nice.
Right.
And Chuck, this is the Maker Edition.
Yes, it is.
Brought to you by Google.
That's right.
And we encourage you to check out the website, makingscience.withgoogle.com.
Do they make anything else but science Google, I'm pretty sure that's all they make.
You make be right. Haha, time for the lightning round, Chuck.
Yes, it is the lightning round. So let us start it off right now.
Strike me.
Here we go. How far off are we from using materials from asteroids as raw materials for 3D printing?
Well, it depends how you look at it. Either you say everything on Earth is made of the same stuff as asteroids, so we're already doing it right now. Ha ha ha. Or when do we fly out to an asteroid and mine it?
Yes.
I think it's 50 years away.
50 years.
But it could be next weekend if somebody gets out there. The thing is, in the example of platinum,
Right.
there's a lot of platinum on the Earth you don't have to build a rocket to get.
Right.
To find a platinum asteroid is just not so easy. Not saying it won't ever be done, but the big thing is to go to an asteroid now and get the ice, the water ice, and separate it into hydrogen and oxygen using solar panels on your rocket ship, and then use that for rocket fuel, electrically produced rocket fuel.
There you go.
But that's not the same as 3D printing a new coffee mug or something.
No.
So I think it's a ways off, but time will tell. It's hard to predict stuff like that.
Okay.
If somebody finds a particular material that you really need, and an asteroid's the only place to get it, but probably be sooner than you think.
There you go. Here's one from Andre Gamma 07 wants to know this. Think he's just having a little fun. Is it possible to 3D print? Is it possible to 3D print a planet?
I don't think so. Yeah, thank you though. The big thing is planets generally have enough gravity to become balls.
Right.
And printing or cutting things into a sphere is not so easy. So the answer would be, of course it's possible, it'd just be kind of difficult.
Gotcha. All right, this is from Ian Landy, at TechnoLandy on Twitter. And Ian wants to know this. From the elementary perspective, should maker movement be experimental, free play, or scaffolded with supports? No idea what he's talking about.
I think your kids go to an after-school program
Yes.
where they learn to write code and print.
That's correct.
That's good. Other people take their 3D printer, which they buy at Staples, and make stuff and send files to each other to make more stuff. You don't have to restrict this. It's
So,
happening.
You just let it happen.
Well, but also encourage it in schools.
Right.
And then let it happen outside of school.
There you have it. And that is why, what's the name of that program?
Star Talk. It's called Star Talk.
Oh, that's right.
You and me, Chuck Nice and Bill Nye.
Okay, El Sabio on Twitter says this. I love how SpaceX uses 3D printing for their Super Draco engine. Is there a chance NASA expands on this idea? First of all, what is a Super Draco engine?
Don't
know.
It's SpaceX's rocket engine.
That's their rocket engine.
And they make the bell housing, at least I saw it in Space News, they make the nozzle
Oh, I saw
3D printer. And it's cool. So keep in mind that you guys, SpaceX is well advertised and so on, but all that technology really comes down from NASA. Most of it's so much of what we take for granted in our modern world, the internet especially, in this type of podcast, is a result of the space program. So also keep in mind that when SpaceX builds a rocket, they're doing it with your tax money. It's usually most of the time it's a contract under NASA. Once in a while the Air Force. So it's not just that SpaceX is doing something, it's that we're all doing something. Yeah, and 3D printing's cool. It's cool. Additive manufacture of these exotic shapes is really a great way to go.
Sweet. There you
I
have it.
meant to go.
All right. Hello, Sir William Nye. My name is Jason from Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm curious to hear your thoughts about the future of solar power. Do you think there will someday be a way for anyone to have solar power? And will we be able to do a DIY for the entire setup without the need for an electrician?
Well, you're talking about a lot of power. So we have electricians so they don't electrocute themselves or your neighbor have sparks come out.
Exactly.
So I have solar panels on my house, and they work great, but in the coming years they're going to be cheaper and better.
Right.
And that will enable us to, dare I say it, power the world.
Yes.
All right, that was our special Maker segment brought to you by Google. Keep looking up.
Yo, what I live on right, and that's strictly wrong, but that's science. For any occasion. Postulated theory formulating equations.
From tree lizard, it's no blizzard. Leaders you can kiss with a girl named Lizzie.
Science like Galileo dropped the orange.
Let me tell you about the Blue Cash Preferred Card from American Express with 6% cash back at U.S. supermarkets on up to $6,000 in purchases. That means 6% cash back on those cheeses you can't pronounce but you eat anyway. And why do they all smell so weird? Start earning cash back at AmexBlueCash.com. Terms apply. Thanks again to Hide My Ass for sponsoring today's episode. Hide My Ass is a personal VPN that brings you essential privacy tools like the ones used by corporations and governments to protect their confidential data. It's easy to use and works on PC, Mac, iOS, and Android phones. So regardless of your device, you can be more secure and private online. So here's what you do. Go to hidemyass.com/StarTalk and receive 50% off right now. That's hidemyass.com/StarTalk and receive 50% off. hidemyass.com/StarTalk.
From the CNET studios in beautiful downtown San Francisco, it's the Applebite Extra Crunchy podcast with your host, Brian Tom.
What? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Applebite Extra Crunchy. It is episode 43 on this beautiful June the 24th. It's Friday. It's a great day. You're here for Applebite Extra Crunchy, Extra Munch, Extra Crunch. It's everything extra, additional, new news, new stories, new developments that are happening here with the world of Apple. Again, this is your show. We want to make it your show. No live calls today, but again, we always have phone calls from the Applebite Nation. You guys can call us at 1-800-616-2638. So all you have to do is leave your name, where you're from, your comments, your messages, your questions, and we will get to them, and we have plenty of calls going on for the show. So, Steven, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. Thanks, Brian. And I just want to add, if you're going to leave a voicemail, don't make it like a minute and 30 seconds.
We just
please.
can't do that.
Yeah, it just takes forever to listen to.
I can't do a minute 30. Even if you make great points, I mean, I'm pretty sure you can sum up everything in around 30, 40 seconds tops.
Yes, easy.
Tops.
We got like an 18-seconder that just sums it up.
That's what we're looking for. So make sure you guys and gals all call us. We're gonna jump right into it. Lots of new things that have happened literally in the past day and a half from the show that we just put up yesterday for the Applebite video edition. I did get some comments in response to the fact that we did involve some aspects of basketball talk in this week's show, and someone said this is not the basketball bite.
Was it like upset? I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was like
loathing.
Yeah, it was like, it was just in reference to Cleveland destroying the Warriors.
I saw pictures of Cleveland fans like celebrating, and it made me feel good. I was like,
it does.
yeah,
It does.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful thing. So let's jump into the show. Really, the big topic that everyone's really talking about right now. We've heard these rumblings, but now the Wall Street Journal has come forward and has piled on to just the depressing fact that the new iPhone that is coming out this year in September is unlikely to make any big changes for the next iPhone. There's just really nothing going on here. They report, in conjunction with what we've heard from other rumor sites, that the big difference of this phone will specifically be the fact that they will remove the headphone jack. It will maintain its current 4.7-inch phone size. It will maintain its 5.5-inch display. Okay, those two things will stay the same. But by removing this headphone plug, they do say that the phone will be slightly slimmer. I don't really care about it being slimmer. We've talked about this so many times. Like, do you care about a slimmer phone?
I do not care.
Do you care about battery life?
I care about battery life, and I care about not having to go buy a bunch of new hardware and headphones, adapters, and all that stuff.
Give
That's
the
what I care
people what
about.
they want. We want battery life, all right? So not only will, according to this report, the phone will be thinner thanks to the removal of the port. It'll be like a millimeter or two thinner. It will also improve its water resistance because of the lack of, putting a headphone jack on there. They must potentially be able to seal that lightning port off a little better. The interesting thing about this report that stands out the most, we do know all the rumors that the next iPhone is not this coming one, but the one after that, the 2017. What do we call it? iPhone Future. Or the iPhone X, whatever you guys want to call it.
Yes.
But the iPhone Future is expected to have an OLED display, much like, guess who, our friends at Samsung and LG and pretty much everyone else has. It is expected to be an edge-to-edge glass display, and rumors have pointed to a Touch ID fingerprint sensor that is part of the display, so there won't be a home button. But this report says basically that the hardware that Apple was expecting to put into this new iPhone just wasn't able to get through the pipeline to make it in time for this new iPhone. So essentially they're saying that Apple couldn't bring these new design changes, couldn't bring this new screen in time, which makes sense.
That's
but
crazy.
It pushed it out to another year.
That's crazy. You'd think that, it's Apple, like the biggest company in the world. You'd think they'd be able to pull it off.
I don't know if maybe they started realizing, maybe these parts became available way after the design was done, like maybe 3 or 4 months and they're already forward, but I'm just telling you, we know that the iPhone market has slowed down. If everyone is, I'm honestly just thinking, wow, maybe there really isn't a reason to get this new iPhone. The other rumbling that we heard, I think last week, was that there may not even be a dual lens camera on this iPhone 7 or iPhone 6SS.
Yeah, and that seemed to be like something people were very, excited about.
There's something, right? But people don't really care about this lightning port replacing the headphone jack. A follow-up report to this, also from Mako Takara, does state that it looks like, according to the report, that the new iPhone coming out this year will ship with a standard 3.5 millimeter headphones. That's the current one that we always have, and it will also include a 3.5 millimeter jack to Lightning adapter to allow them to connect to the new device. Obviously, then opening up the floodgates for Lightning headphones to also be third-party Lightning headphones to be connected to your iPhone. But they do say in this report that there will be an adapter.
So there's gonna be a little gradual change. That's kind of smart, actually.
It has.
That makes sense.
You can't alienate everyone.
Yeah, you can't like right away out of the gate.
I just think that it has to be a strong enough adapter that it just almost becomes part of that cable that's on, your third-party headphones, right?
Yeah.
This adapter can't just like pop off real easily. It almost has to be like, this is your cable with this connection. So
Yeah, and if they can make the headphones non-tangle headphones, that'd be great too.
when is that ever?
I mean, if it's a lightning connection, it might be a little like a little
clip or
thicker,
something, a loop or
thicker.
something?
Yeah, it might be a little thicker. I don't
They've had accessories where I remember at the Apple stores, this is like how desperate people were. I think it was Belkin. They made this figure 8 looking piece of rubber, okay? And all it did would allow you to wind your headphones so they wouldn't get tangled. And it was sold for like $12 or $14. And people bought it.
Yeah.
It was a piece of rubber. And that's the market that we're talking about here. I honestly, again, I think we said this earlier, I'm okay with it as long as they put in an adapter. I don't think it's gonna be a big deal. I just think that the biggest issue will be when people lose that adapter and then they have to pay like $15-20 just
$29.99. That's the rate.
That's $29.99 out of your mind. That's just horrible.
Always $29.99.
This story is actually pretty cool. Again, these are all rumors and rumblings. There's nothing been officially confirmed by Apple up to date, but this is what the supply chain, what everyone is talking about right now. According to a new report from Chinese smartphone repair shop Rockfix, they've also supplied images of what was rumored to be a 256 gig option, a dual camera lens that are purported components to the iPhone 7 in the past. They are now sharing a photo of what they believe could potentially be a dual SIM tray for the actual iPhone 7, or the one that is coming up. We don't know exactly what they're going to call it yet. We'll just call it iPhone 7 just for now. Now, why this is cool, okay? This would allow you to send and receive messages from multiple phone numbers. There's actually already SIM card adapters that allow you to basically create a dual SIM card add-on to your current iPhones. They're out online. It ends up going into your SIM card tray slot, and it becomes this kind of like ribbon cable that sticks out, but then it has the dual SIM connectors on it. Dual SIM technology is cool for a couple reasons, right? You could use multiple carriers based on your network coverage. So, for example, here in the US, Verizon works very well in the city from a signal, AT&T's data is really fast here in the city. When we go to Las Vegas for CES, Verizon is really the only phone that really works.
Really?
Have you experienced that?
I have the opposite. Like
my
AT&T
gosh.
doesn't work very good
Yeah.
for me in the city.
Here.
Yeah.
Oh, here in the city?
Yeah.
Like at
well,
work?
you know, when I'm at work, it just doesn't really work for me. So
You must be in a dead zone, Steven. 'Cause I'm like 20 feet away from you, and actually it can go down to like one
it's
or two
iffy.
dots.
They throttle me though too.
Well,
when I
that's
get
be-
up to 16 gigs.
They do throttle you.
Yeah.
This is unacceptable.
Don't complain.
But even another standpoint from, okay, you could use something like a cheaper LTE 4G data plan from T-Mobile, which here in the US is cheaper versus someone else's plan. So think of like, if you could stagger
That's cool.
different things based on the carrier. I don't know if this is actually going to happen. My gut says probably not, at least not right now. I know they do it in other countries, but it would be interesting to see this, a dual SIM card in the next gen phone. If that is what Tim Cook is saying, it's a feature that you didn't know you couldn't live without. I think I could live without that,
Yeah, me too.
but we will
But
see.
it is kind of neat.
In supporting articles just about the overall direction of where this iPhone is going, and just almost another reason for you to say, I'm going to wait for the 2017 iPhone. Samsung and Sharp have planned to ramp up their OLED production ahead of Apple's rumored all-glass iPhone. Just some tidbits about this. Apple had originally planned, there were stories that, we're going to do an OLED display phone in 2018. That's when we first started hearing rumblings about this. Then Apple has pushed it up and said, we're going to really try and shoot towards the end of 2017. That's what they've actually told their suppliers now. So Samsung reportedly is expected to increase their output of OLED panels by 50% this year so that they can meet that end of 2017 deadline.
Wow.
Foxconn owns supplier Sharp. They're also planning to ship OLED panels before the end of 2017. All signs point to them doing this specifically for the new upcoming iPhone in 2017, not 2016. I mean, Steven, we've talked about it a bunch, but what do you feel like? It's weird I called you Steven. I normally call
That's
you
fine.
Beach.
That's my name.
I know it is your name. But what do you feel about this whole thing of if Apple is really just holding off for this 10th anniversary iPhone? Are you compelled to get a new phone?
No, I don't. No, it's not compelling to me at all. It just feels like they're just still playing catch up. We've been talking about this for a long time. It just feels like they're still playing catch up and, you know, trying to get on board with all the other trends that are happening. So it's not exciting. Actually, I've actually been thinking about trading in my phone. I think I've talked about this before,
Yeah.
but trading in my 6S and getting the SE, just because of the size issue, and also I could probably get some money back.
That
yeah.
too. Would you? Well, is the 6S a little too beefy for you?
It's just too beefy, and it's, you know, and there's things on it that are supposed to be high end, but I don't really use them. You know?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the SE would be going back, but it would be smaller and more comfortable, and you know, and it'll have all the features I want. So
Look, I made fun of the SE in the past only because, and it is tongue-in-cheek, so people are like, oh, you hate on them. No, it's only because Apple always brags and comes off with this this message and this identity that they can do no wrong. They are the greatest on thing that you've ever done. And so when they put out the 5 SE, it was a iPhone 6 with a 5-inch screen, basically. And if they're continue to brag about how we are the greatest, I'm going to put them in their place and say, no, you're not the greatest all the time. Hence that amazing iPhone battery case.
yeah.
Amazingly horrible. Good Lord. Okay, we also want to talk about this information just dropped yesterday. Apple has officially discontinued their Thunderbolt display. This is their 27-inch Thunderbolt display that really hasn't had an update since it was released. I think it's been at least, feels like 3 years. It's been pretty close to that.
Yeah, I feel like they just announced Thunderbolt like just a few years ago, like within the last 3 or 4 years.
So, according to TechCrunch, they asked Apple directly. Apple said this is their statement. We're discontinuing the Apple Thunderbolt display. It will be available through Apple.com, Apple retail stores, and Apple authorized resellers while supplies last. There are a number of great third-party options available for Mac users. That's what the spokesperson said. So there is still stock left, but once that stock is gone, this product is bye-bye. It was also really curious what they were going to do with the product line, because if you recall, the iMac 5K has a higher resolution display than the Thunderbolt display. It's a thinner display, And everyone over the past year was hoping that Apple would actually do something about that. Like, oh, is Apple going to release an update? They haven't, so it's kind of interesting where they're telling people, oh, look at a third-party solution. But according to BuzzFeed's John Petskowski, he's covered Apple for a long time, and it kind of dovetails with rumors that we've heard for a while. He says that although this Thunderbolt display is going away, we should still expect a next-gen display that will indeed have that rumored integrated GPU. And for those of you that just want to get you up to speed, why is it important for this next-gen Apple display to have an integrated graphics processor unit inside of it? The reason is that some of the current laptops can't actually run on a larger display like a Thunderbolt display because they don't have the graphics capability to push it to that device. So what, by having a GPU in there, pop in a single cable connection, it would able to take some of the hardware that won't support this new display, and then the actual display will do it all, right? The hardware is integrated into the display, and it will be able to handle it all. So I think if I recall right, the current MacBook Ultra Thins do not support, I believe it's Thunderbolt 3.0 to be able to, or DisplayPort 3.0, that would enable it to support a larger display like that.
Now, do these displays have other inputs on them, like DVI and stuff like that?
They might, but I think most of the time it's just going to end up becoming either Thunderbolt or DisplayPort.
Yeah.
So, someone on Periscope was like, too technical, bye Felicia. Guess what? You're going to have to learn this stuff eventually. Dude's like, I just want to hear about the iPhone. I don't want to hear about anything else but the iPhone. That's all. Alright, let's take a break. We've got ad time because guess what? We're rolling deep now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, alright. Here we go. This is from our friends at Harrys.com. You might be familiar with the product and the checkout process. Stop compromising on your shave and get started with Harry's. Far too long, you've either paid too much for a comfortable shave or you've settled for a low price but low quality razor. Harry's offers you something you've never had before, a great shave at a fair price. They make their own high quality razors. They cut out, get it, cut out. You don't want to cut out your face. But they cut out the middleman and ship them directly to you for half the price of the leading brand. Good shave, good price. It's simple. Get the best of both with Harry's.
What makes Harry's unique? Harry's is the only shaving company that has both quality and low prices. Good shave? Harry's makes just one razor with all you need for a close, comfortable shave, 5 German-crafted blades, flex hinge and lubricating strip, quality guaranteed, full refund if you're not happy. Actually, we got these razors ourselves.
Yes.
I'm still using the same one that I've had for like 2 or 3 weeks. I haven't had to change
still are.
it. I'm still using it. I only shave maybe once or twice a week, but every day I do like the under the neck, just to look clean
just
or whatever.
To clean it up.
Haven't had to change the razor, so it's pretty awesome.
When are you, honestly, how often are you, I use an electric razor.
Really? I do I
know, that's
I shave Monday mornings and then some maybe on Wednesdays or Thursdays, so.
Oh, well, you know what? I still haven't lived up to my promise. I said I would try it in other areas, so I'm going to see how that works out.
Make a video of that.
How to shave your balls with Harrys.com. Harrys will give you $5 off your first purchase with the promo code AppleBite. Go to Harrys.com right now and look for the Truman set. That's Harrys, HARRYS.com. Enter the code AppleBite at the checkout to get $5 off and help support the show. Stop compromising. Give Harrys a try today.
All right. Cool.
We dig it. Thank you very much, Harrys. On to the next, and maybe it's out for the next. The MacBook Pro non-Retina. It's the 13-inch MacBook Pro that is still on Apple's website. It actually it is the last current gen piece of hardware from Apple that actually has an optical drive. When was the last time you guys used an optical drive? So if you look at it on Apple's website, it'll say, oh yeah, this has the super drive, which, man, I remember when they used to sell that externally. It still sells for $10.99, but you've got to imagine this bad boy is on its way out. They've taken it off all retail store displays. It doesn't exist anywhere physically in any Apple presence now, so it's really, if you know about it, they'll have some in the back, but just to let you know, it's on its way out. And when it does officially say goodbye, we will definitely take a moment of silence to remember. In fact, we should take a moment of silence to remember the Thunderbolt display. What do you think about that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's just
get ready.
Okay.
I'll miss you, Thunderbolt display.
Okay, this is good. I'm good. All right, next up, Apple Watch news. This is interesting to me. First of all, I'm sorry, but I'll get to it in a moment. I'm kind of hyping up on the Apple Watch now.
People, yeah,
I am.
Things are changing.
Things are
rapidly.
changing. Okay, so here's the latest story coming to us from our friends from Digitimes. The Apple Watch may switch to a micro LED display in mid-2017 or later. Now, currently, the Apple display that we're using is an OLED display, and there's a suggesting that the Apple Watch 2 lineup that is expected to come out this year will still continue to have the OLED display, and it'll move towards these micro LED displays in 2017. So here's just some details about a micro LED displays. They can be thinner and lighter and allow for an improved color gamut, increased brightness, and higher resolutions. The panels do not require backlighting like a traditional LCD display, we know that, but they're more difficult and expensive to mass produce. Micro LEDs range in size from 1 micron to 100 microns. So this would be changing out the display technology and might also allude to a new design, but this would be held off until the whatever is called the Apple Watch 3 or whatever this third generation Apple Watch is.
Is that going to be helpful with battery life too?
I hope so. They don't really necessarily say it's more battery efficient, and I honestly don't know off the top of my head if it is. Apple also acquired a micro LED display maker, LuxView Technology, in 2014. And when they did that, they had stated that the company itself had made a breakthrough in displays, but we didn't really know what that was. So potentially this technology is obviously what they've been looking at for the Apple Watch. Again, this is just kind of stuff that's happening behind the scenes that we won't see anytime soon, but it is interesting. And since we're on the Apple Watch, I've just got to say, now that I've used it, okay, so I put on WatchOS Trace. I think on Monday. WatchOS Trace. I put WatchOS 3 on Monday, and I am telling you, I know it's beta, but it's completely going to change how everyone feels about the Apple Watch.
Yeah, Brian actually came up to me all excited, and he's like, ask Mickey what time is it?
Oh yeah, here, let me. So there's just simple things, but the usability of the Apple Watch now is completely different. The UI is simpler. It's more, if this makes sense, it's more feature packed, but simpler at the same time, and what you need the most, it gets you there. So I do love the fact that you can actually swipe different watch faces on the fly. Before, you had to go to the settings, you had to customize it.
That's cool.
I can select like 10 different watch faces and just swipe and switch between them. But my favorite one, hold on one second, I accidentally hit something. I didn't mean to. My favorite thing that they talked about is like there's the Mickey Mouse watch face, and if you tap it, he'll actually like talk to you. So let me make sure that my sound's on. Okay, here we go. Ready?
Yes.
Hopefully they can all hear this.
It's 2:27.
Did you hear that?
I wish he laughed. It's 2:27.
Well, so here's the thing. When I change it between him and Minnie, which I'm gonna do, they tend to like do a laugh once I change in between the two. So let's go to see, that's why it's called a beta. It's just reset. But I know people are like, oh, what a fail. But the thing is that it's the dock of apps. They've completely really got rid of that whole thing where you have that friend circle, the notifications, the control center. It's on point. It's on point.
That's cool. You know what would be cool is if they like did like licensing deals with like famous watchmakers, so you can get like a Rolex face.
That would
like
be the day.
Stuff like that, you know, that'd be awesome.
Well,
I would download Rolex face.
I think though one of the reasons why, and I said after the keynote, I was disappointed that they didn't open up watch faces to third parties, is because I don't think they want people to do stuff like that, right?
Dude, that'd be like,
oh my
you
gosh,
could see like Star Wars marketing.
That's what
like,
I'm
get
saying.
your new Star Wars out, you know, Tron.
It could be
all kinds of cool
watch
stuff.
faces could be insane if they open it up.
Okay, listeners, me and Brian just figured this out. So if it happens, you contact Apple and say they owe us a couple bucks, please.
Yeah, I mean, even though we have nothing to do with the licenses towards Marvel or Disney or...
It was our idea.
You know, it was totally our idea, DC and all that stuff. But I'm just telling you, I tweeted it out and a lot of people responded and they were surprised, but they were also excited. I just said, if you have a Apple Watch right now and it's in a drawer and you're not happy with it, you're going to be super, super stoked with a new software update. If you don't have an Apple Watch, don't buy one yet. Just wait for the next gen one. But I know I'm running the beta. It's not the most stable, but across the board, it is significantly improved. I used to be saying, oh, my Apple Watch is around a 5. I'm definitely giving it like a 7.5 now.
That's good.
So I'm going to be wearing a lot more now. And
that's one thing I'd never really... I mean, I do know that they do updates, but you can potentially have a different watch every couple years, or every year, with the update, so...
Yeah, I mean, last week's show, we admitted that the fact that they're completely revamping the software was an admission that they got it wrong.
Yeah.
And they really did. But they're doing some exciting stuff with the new interface, and I'm just letting y'all know I am a fan now. Like, I'm just like, that's what it takes. That's what it takes. And people are like, oh, you talk so much crap about it. I'm like, yeah, because you were all blind by the Apple Kool-Aid. They weren't even making a real good product back then. This is, like, legit. So, because people will be like, oh, you're a hater. You never had the faith. I'm like, it's not about the faith. It's just what is in front of you at that time. Is this actually a useful product? So, it is quite nice. Okay, also, just to kind of wrap things up a little bit with Apple TV, BitTorrent has announced a new BitTorrent Now app for the iPhone, the iPad, and the Apple TV. I don't want you all to jump to conclusions and think that, oh, this is all of a sudden like the actual BitTorrent, the naughty BitTorrent, the illegal BitTorrent.
No, probably not.
They're also trying to really transition into legitimate content. So they're making this available on Apple platforms, and it would allow you to really watch content that's been uploaded by other content creators. They are planning to support VR content and generally really just content as a whole. It has not been released yet. I heard that it's called BitTorrent Now, the actual app. Someone said that it has been released on Android and it's coming to iOS and iPhone very soon, but it is available on Android today. So
it's kind of like HBO now.
Yeah, it's its own service. It's really like a video streaming service of content maybe that you may not find on other places, but more like original indie style content. And I think what the internet has shown us, obviously with platforms like YouTube, is that if there's good content, people are going to end up finding it and people are going to end up watching it.
Yeah.
Just like this show.
Hey!
Plug. And then also, the Apple TV gives universal search for 9 new channels. And this is why this might make a difference. This happened just, I think, earlier this week, but channels like A&E, Cooking Channel, DIY, Food Network, HGTV, History, Lifetime, and Travel Channel. You're like, man, those are a bunch of channels. And as I watched the WWDC presentation, one of the key things that they drilled down with the Apple TV or the tvOS is the fact that you will now be able to call your channel up with Siri voice, like say, hey, watch A&E, and it'll be able to watch it. And I'm really thinking that when you see this Siri support for all these different channel apps, maybe Apple just doesn't even want to do a subscription service, and they're just like, hey, if these networks make apps for our platform and someone can just call up watch ESPN.
So they're turning into Roku.
Yeah, it almost is more like a voice controlled Roku.
Yeah.
Hey, Apple, I still say it's a disappointment if Apple doesn't come up with their own streaming service, but the fact is that they allow Sling TV, which is its own streaming service, to be on their platform now. The fact that they're now allowing you just to call up these pretty much TV network apps on the fly, they might just think, you know what, just make an app for our platform, and that's how people are going to watch the content. I'm like,
that's cool, actually.
So
I like it.
It's an interesting thought. People are watching more on demand than at any other time now as well.
Yeah.
So
my wife would be stoked because she loves The Property Brothers. It's her favorite show. There it is.
Is it because she thinks they handsome?
They handsome.
They handsome.
And they know how to build a house.
Sure they do. From scratch. Totally. They're like.
Have you ever watched it? It's always like, we ran into some problems. We have to gut the total downstairs floor. We have to rip out everything. It's always a problem.
Dude, this is what it is. We ran into problems. We really don't know how to fix this, so we're gonna get some contractors that do, but look like we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're just gonna stand here. Make up!
A lot of the episodes are like we're waiting around for the contractor.
It's good stuff. All right, let's get to your calls again. You can always reach us out, 1-800-616-2638. is the phone lines to leave your name, your message, where you're from, and we'll throw you in the show. This is your show just as much as it is ours. So, Beecham, let's jump to it.
All right, you have the Greek god Zeus.
Greek god.
Yeah, Zeus from California here.
Nice.
What's up? It's Zeus Fuentes from California, Fontana, California. And I'm just wondering about your thoughts on the SE and the new 7, because I'm really on the fence whether to get an SE right now or wait till the 7. Thanks. Bye.
Zeus.
Yeah.
Greek god. I think it just comes down to what screen size you prefer.
Exactly.
I don't even think it comes down to specs of the product. It just comes down to what do you like holding on a day-to-day basis. I mean, that's what Steven is actually debating.
Yeah, I mean,
right
seriously,
now.
like my phone is too big. It's uncomfortable in my hand. So
What'd you say? It's too big?
It's too big. It's uncomfortable in my hand. I want a smaller phone for my small hands.
In summary, it's too big for his hands. He wants it smaller.
Yeah, and then
the iPhone.
If he's gonna get the iPhone 7, and he's gonna be paying like $800. Well, actually, you can't even own it now. So, I don't know. That's a tough one.
It comes down to usability.
Yeah, usability.
I like the 6. There's no way. I mean, I actually shouldn't say this because it's gonna come and bite me back in the butt. I was just gonna say there's no way I'll ever get a Plus, but I shouldn't say that because if they make a skinny jean that can fit the Plus without it showing, then I might do it.
Every person I've seen who has a Plus, it's never in their pocket. They're always holding it, carrying it around.
Or it's like kind of in their back pocket because
Yeah.
it's too awkward to fit in their front pocket.
Yeah, but most of the time they're just holding it in their hand, like, because it's just too big. And they're just walking around holding a screen all day.
Yeah.
So it's funny.
So yeah, I don't, and especially with the fact that we talked about this new iPhone coming out, if it's the 7 or not, does not expect to have any really major groundbreaking feature. I think it just comes down to the screen size for you, and then you can kind of wait it out, right? You get a cheaper phone, and then maybe that iPhone future is like the bomb, and then you're just like, okay, I'm ready to get that one. So yeah, screen size, baby, it's all you.
Cool. Okay, next call. Kevin from Maryland.
Hey, Beecham. Hey, Brian. This is Kevin from Columbia, Maryland. And a feature that I would love to see in iPhones in general is more safety. Like, say if something happens and you need to like, contact 911, like, instantly, do like a button or discreet something that can help you in the case of emergency. I feel like everything nowadays is starting to get the same. So maybe it'd be pretty cool if Apple starts redefining things and just do things more practical, like safety. I mean, I like iOS 10, but that's what I want to see focused on, safety. All right, thanks for listening, guys. Have a great day. Bye.
You have a great day too.
Yes.
Safety first.
Safety first. Actually, yeah.
So there's when your phone is locked, there's a quick way to get to call an emergency number. You basically swipe from left to right while your phone is locked. Okay, Steven's gonna show us swipe left to right, and then down in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a word that says emergency, and you can press on it and then allow you to dial 911. I get what you're trying to say. There should be a security feature, but ultimately, I don't want to see like a red button on every screen panel that I'm on.
No, because
right?
my kids will be dialing 911 on accident all the time.
So I don't think there's ever, if there was some sort of like hot key combination, like hold volume up and down, power, and the home button all at once for 5 seconds. Okay.
Left, right, ABA, start.
Up, down, down,
up, down, left, right.
Then, wait, isn't it, okay.
It's up,
it's up, down, left, right. Isn't it BA start?
BA start.
I'm pretty sure it's BA
Was it
start.
Select start? Select start?
For Contra?
Yeah, for Contra.
No, I thought it was BA start.
Someone will tell us.
Someone's gonna tell us. We'll just wait for the live chat.
I always thought it was AB start. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Up, down,
left, right. I got 30
right,
guys
BA
like
start.
hell of a time.
Yeah. But no, I just don't see it being feasible to put in emergency contact. Someone's doing Abacab. That was the blood code for Mortal Kombat. ABACABB. I totally did that all the time. That was on the Sega Genesis. Man, that's so old school. All right, and should we get to our last call?
Yes, last call. Aircy from Salt Lake City, Utah.
Hey guys, Aircy from Salt Lake City, Utah. I was calling to wondering what you guys' you think Apple will like improve 3D Touch for iOS 10 and WWDC? So I was wondering what your thoughts are on what Apple would do with 3D Touch. With 3D Touch, would they like ditch it, or would they still try to work on it? Okay, bye.
So, thank you for calling, and I would say you can check out online. There's a lot of different ways that, surprisingly enough, and this is a good thing, Apple is really implementing 3D Touch across all of iOS 10. Different apps are now getting more functionality. You're getting functionality in your settings. You're getting 3D Touch functionality on your lock screen before you even start using your phone. The music app, and there's a lot of different apps that are taking advantage of 3D Touch. I think the hardest part about it, though, again, is not everything will have 3D Touch. It won't behave the same all the time. And the question always remains, do you really need 3D Touch to use your phone? And the answer is really no. But it can enhance how you use it. And I think that with iOS 10 specifically, not only they're pushing 3D Touch really hard, so you're going to see a lot of that. I would just encourage you to like look, just search around online. There's a lot of good stuff of like 3D Touch features in iOS 10. I think the other thing is that because iOS 10 is only going to support the 6, the 6S, and then this new coming phone, whatever it is, the iPhone 7, that means the 6S and the 7, two of those three phones will have 3D Touch, which still means that they're not going to give you features that are going to alienate the 6, right?
Yeah.
So until the software only supports 3D Touch based phones, I think that's really when the only time you're going to actually really see it take off, because then every phone can use it from that, at least in that family of phones. So I still don't think it's necessary. I want them to do more with it. I'll have to kind of use it on a daily basis before I say, yeah, I like that.
I still run into problems when I'm trying to like copy a text link or something, and then 3D Touch comes up, and then there's no option to copy. So there's little bugs they still have to work out, but you know, it'll be better when they fix it.
Yeah, one of our periscopers just said the haptic feedback on 3D Touch is so satisfying when you use it. It feels. They said feels. So I don't know what they're. I don't know what they're 3D touching with.
Is that new vibrator? That new vibration?
Is the vibe?
Inside?
I don't know. Yeah.
It's like real fast, like.
I don't know. It's kind of dirty if you ask me. I don't know. That's kind of just dirty. Gross. All right. I just wanted to confirm with you, based on this amazing tool on the internet that allows you to search things and get results instantly. The official Contra code. It's called Google, by the way. The official code for Contra: up, up, down, down, left, right, BA start. Cool. We just wanted to confirm it for all those people that are going to write in the comments of YouTube like, "Love it, you idiots! It's you did it wrong. It's not that." So much of that. All right, that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for checking out the Apple Bite Extra Crunchy. We'll be back here. Oh, yeah, give it to me. We close out Contra style. We'll see you guys and gals all next week. Thanks for running the show, Beach.
Yeah, thanks, man. See you guys.
All right, see you. Peace.